Welcome back to the program. Inflation has ticked down for the September quarter, but it may not be enough to prevent a rate rise on Melbourne Cup Day. The cost of living rose 5.4% year on year. That's down from 6% in the June quarter. Joining me now is the Deputy Nationals Leader, Perrin Davey. With the rate rise, according to the economists I've spoken to on the program today, they think it's untenable for the RBA not to lift rates, given what they've said. How is it going to be received in your electorate?
Not well at all. And I normally like a punt on Melbourne Cup Day. I'm not a big gambler, but I'm really struggling this year to, do I bet on a horse or do I bet on what the RBA are going to do? Because I think it's going to be a surer bet what the RBA do. It will not go down well. I filled my car up on the weekend. I'm paying over $2.20 for diesel. We saw in the figures today, petrol has gone up 4.2% in the quarter. Power prices have gone up again. You know, this is the government that promised us a reduction in the cost of living and a reduction in power prices by $275, and we're just not seeing it. We keep seeing increases in the cost of living, and when you whack on top of that an extra rate rise, another hit to the mortgage belt, people are really feeling the pain.
This is what Peter Dutton had to say earlier. I want to get your thoughts on this, but have a listen to what the opposition leader said.
Instead of being obsessed by the Voice, as the Prime Minister's been over the course of the last 17 or 18 months, Richard Marles and others have been completely and utterly distracted by the Voice. I think all of them, frankly, have been so obsessed with the Voice.
The opposition leader there saying the government's been distracted by the Voice. It appears that the coalition's research is showing that people are saying the government was not focused, didn't have its eye on the ball. Is that a fair assessment?
Oh, it is absolutely a fair assessment, and it's not just, you know, as a result of what happened in the Voice referendum. In the 18 months that we've had in the lead-up, we have heard so much about the vibe, about the hands of friendship, and we've heard very little about what this government is doing to increase productivity and to relieve pressure on interest rates to ensure that the cost of living starts to go down. We haven't seen their plan B. We don't know what's next on the agenda. We're now seeing, you know, IR reforms coming up, which will hamper productivity. We're seeing changes to the Pacific Labour Mobility Scheme, which will also hamper agricultural productivity. We just keep having bricks put on our head rather than being able to lift our productivity, lift the pressure on interest rates and actually start to see a bit of relief on the horizon.
It has been for months and months the number one issue, cost of living. The government says it's doing what it can in terms of rent, childcare, power bills. Do you accept that it would be bad economic policy to, say, reduce the fuel excise temporarily?
Well, one of the problems we've seen with this government and what they keep doing, what they say they're doing to relieve pressure and their childcare subsidies, the electricity rebates, but all that is doing is actually increasing the pressure on inflation because it isn't being matched by increases in productivity at all. And it's just sort of holding back the pain. The power rebates, the energy rebates, we've seen they have reduced the rate of power price rises, but they haven't stopped power prices rising. They haven't stopped the pain in people's hip pockets. And that's where, you know, people need to focus. And as you say, we've heard about it for months and months. The polling has been showing the cost of living was number one on people's agenda, but all the government was talking about was the Voice.
The Treasurer says that inflation's not being driven by the lowest paid getting a pay rise. That's his argument in terms of the IR changes. Is that a potent argument?
I don't think people are focused on that. They're not focused on pay rises right now. What they want is relief. They want relief at the grocery store. They want relief at the petrol bowser, and they certainly want relief in their household bills and their power bills. That's what people are telling me.
The Prime Minister's in Washington. They've got the big state dinner tomorrow, our time. Is this a good thing for Australia to have the PM there and getting the red carpet treatment from the US President?
Well, I mean, certainly it's a very important diplomatic exercise for the Prime Minister to go over there. And, you know, I welcome some of the announcements he's made, the partnership with Microsoft and increasing focus on us getting our critical minerals industries going. But it is also needs to be taken with caution. And what next? I'm surprised that he's focusing on this trip but not seeking to visit Israel, as the Israeli ambassador called for today, and as others have called for, and as other world leaders have done. The Prime Minister's prioritising gala dinners over human rights.
You don't think it'd get in the way in Israel? They've obviously got bigger priorities right now.
Well, I mean, when you've got the Israeli ambassador saying they would welcome a trip, I think it would be legitimate. Joe Biden did it. Rishi Sunak did it. He doesn't need to spend long there, but he just needs to show support and solidarity against terrorists.
Deputy Nationals leader Perrin Davey, appreciate your time. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.